All right, welcome in, everybody. It's the Pillow Talk edition of Pugs and Company, heard each and every Sunday through Thursday night, 9 o'clock Central Standard Time till typically 11. Get into that in a minute. Also, we do this show on during the day. We call that the High Noon Edition. That show airs at noon every day, and that show goes noon to 2. Yeah, sometimes a little shorter, sometimes a little bit longer. But this, I don't know. Hey, I apologize to you folks. You're tuning into this garbage. This is pretty much just a whole stream of consciousness kind of a deal we got going on at night here. This is, but the daytime show, that's all about, trending topics and things that are in current events, hot topics, if you will. Anything anybody's talking about, that's what we do during the daytime show. And so it's more content-driven, more utilitarian, I like to say. You can use it as a utility to keep yourself informed as to what's happening in the world around you. All right, so here's the story with today. Emil, not here. He's got some important sunglasses. His guys are probably wearing the sunglasses. He's in a poker tournament, as the jet set types want to be. He is out there, I don't know, it's like some charity poker thing that he's taking part in, and it's okay, so that's good. That's charity. That's good. James Parker, I don't know where he is. I thought he was gonna be maybe, you know what, he may have said that he wasn't gonna be here tonight as well. He may pop in at any moment, because he runs around, he gets drunk at night, and then he forgets that, I got to do this thing. And he didn't get paid for this. Nobody gets paid for this. I mean, we barely make enough money to keep it going. So, you can't really be hating on somebody for not showing up. So it's all cool. Everybody's fine. And it's just me. Now, here's the issue. Here's the issue that I'm having. This may not be a full show, not because of those reasons. Even if everybody was here, if we had a full staff, there'd be a full cast. Or if we had a full cast, we still wouldn't be probably doing a full show. Can you tell I'm a little bit sketchy? Can you tell my mind is like going in like, I'm going to be slurring my words? I'm not drunk. I'm on some pain pills that I got. You guys, I have gout. You guys know what gout is? You guys have any idea what gout is? First of all, gout is supposed to be the disease of kings, the disease of the nobility, the disease from eating too many foods that are too rich for your blood. Yeah, it's also the disease of white trash who does nothing but eat garbage food from Dollar Tree. That's also what it is. But they never talk about those people who get the gout. I'm not getting enough vegetables, enough green vegetables. And, the first time, this is my second bout of gout in my life. The first one came, strangely enough, around this time last year. And at the time, I was eating a whole lot of seafood. I was eating a bunch of tuna, and I was eating a bunch of shrimp and stuff like that. And then, it turns out that, that's a problem. If you do nothing but eat that kind of stuff, you're going to get the gout. It's a buildup of uric acid. That's it. I got it right. It's a buildup of uric acid in your feet or in your joints. Typically, it manifests itself in people's feet. And last year when I got it, oh my God, I swear to God, only one other time in my life had I experienced that level of consistent pain, and it was when they ripped a catheter out of my penis. And then we just tore the catheter out of your penis. You're going to want to clear the pipes and try and urinate, and then it's just like urinating flamethrower. Awful pain. That had always been, until this time last year, the most excruciating pain that I had ever felt. But the difference is that the gout, not that extreme level of pain, still freaking painful. Like, like it just throbs. It's just like a throbbing. It's not as extreme as the catheter extraction and then urination afterwards. That was over after about 15, 20 minutes. That was a process, boy. If anybody ever had to go through that, that was a process, I'll tell you. This is a little bit less pain, but it never stops. It doesn't. It just keeps going. Whoop, 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 whoop. And then when you try to walk, here's the funny thing about my gout. I can walk, I can walk around, but what I can't, I have to walk on, it's on my left foot, on my left toe, like the big toe area, right where, right underneath where the big toe is. I have to walk on the side of my foot, or I need to walk on my back heel on my left foot. And then it's fine. As long as I keep the pressure off that part, then it's fine. It's still whoop, 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 whoop. But when I actually put weight on it, then it's like, what? Then it just jacks all the way up. Oh my God, it's so painful. Tom Beller telling me it's a disease of old men. Yeah, it very well may be. I prefer to call it the disease of nobility, the disease of kings, the disease of the upper class, the curse of the blue bloods, if you will. But there's ways to treat it, like cherries. They say eat a bunch of cherries. Cherries is good. And then there's NSAIDs, and you take those. But today it just came out of nowhere at 4:30. I was getting out of my car to go into a 7-Eleven, and all of a sudden it went boom, boom. And I was, oh no. And that's, gout, Clovis. You just joining us now. And I'm like, oh no, here it comes. And it didn't start out really bad, but it starts out with the feeling where you're like, oh no. Okay, I know what that is. And then here we are, 5 hours later? Yeah, about 5 hours later, and it is bad. I don't know if you can see it. It's not really, you can see it right. You see it's starting to swell up right here. See how it's starting to get all red and up in here? Man, I'm telling you, by this time tomorrow, it's going to be bad. It's going to be really bad. And that sucks, because we've got big plans for tomorrow night, and I'll be able to tough it out. I'll be fine. Let's see. Yes, Clovis Gout. Tom says, of all those things you mentioned, you only fit in as an old man. Yeah, I guess you're sadly. No, you're not. No, I am not an old man, dude. I am not an old man, because I went out last night with a friend of mine who is 10 years older than me. When he told, I knew he was 10 years older than me, but for some reason it's just, no, man, you ain't old anymore at our age. Look, we're not kids, to be sure, but 50 ain't what 50 was when we were 12. It just ain't. It's just not, man. Look at a 50-year-old in 1960. They look like 75-year-olds today. So get out of here. You're only, what is it the great philosopher R. Kelly once said? Age ain't nothing but a number. Gotta believe in that. Let's see what else we got. Who else is in there? We got Byron. Hi, Byron. Yeah, no worry. Hey, Clovis, hall pass granted, pal. You're allowed to be a couple of minutes late in here. Byron says, isn't there supposed to be desired sexual side effects of gout? I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, and now you have gout after one night of drinking. I know, dude. I only had 2 glasses of scotch and 2 beers. That's it. That's all I had last night. We weren't pounding. We were just socially sitting around. And the second glass of scotch, I didn't finish. I left half of it in the cup, and it was like, well, it's time to go. But I'm in a lot of pain. And I had squirreled away a couple of painkillers from some. Do we all do that? Do we all when you have painkillers for something, you squirrel them away for either a dull night or an emergency where you don't want to go to the doctors? So I took 2, and so I'm a little bit wiggy. Tonight, but that's okay. We're gonna make it through. We'll just we'll talk about some things. Oh boy, will we talk about some things. I got a couple of things that I want to get off my chest. So you're all here. You're here for the right reasons. What does that even mean? You're all here. You're here for the right. I don't even know what I'm saying, folks. This is going to be a weird one. How about a moment of joy? All right, I'll show you how weird this is. I'll show you how Oh my God, I don't even know what I'm doing. Hold on. Shit's gonna get crazy. Shit's gonna get weird. I thought I'd already opened that. No, I didn't. Today's moment of joy. We like to start each and every show out with something that's gonna make you smile, something that'll put you in a optimistic mood, whatever, just a little something. Today's moment of joy is not that. today's moment of joy is something completely different, but I wanted to show it because there are two things that I love in this world. They are fights and fights inside Waffle Houses. Three things. I love Waffle Houses too. Oh my God. I almost stopped at Waffle House today. I was out. I was doing all my running around. That was before I stopped for the last place at the 7-Eleven where I noticed my gout flare up. And I passed a Waffle House this afternoon and I was like, oh man, I ain't had Waffle House in a long time. I love Waffle House. If I had to make a list of the best things that the South ever gave the rest of America, Waffle House would absolutely be on that list. There's no denying it. Waffle Houses are fantastic. And don't, look, you rank amateurs out there, don't go to a Waffle House and just like, oh, it's a Waffle House. You got to get the waffles. No, that's just what it's called. Don't get a waffle. I always get one waffle. I always get one waffle on the side. And throw a waffle on the side too for me. That's what I always do. I get the skillet scrambles. Oh, so good. So good. And there's something about Waffle House coffee and a skillet scramble. Man, just the best. All right. So there you go. That's Waffle House. All right. Hey, you know what Waffle Houses are good for, though? They're good for fights. So let's watch this Waffle House fight play out. Now, I don't know much of the context on this. It's your moment of joy, and I'm in a squirrely mood. That's why it's not really joyous, unless you're like me and you enjoy these things. So Bubba, this is apparently at probably, I'm going to say Georgia, maybe Alabama, something like that. So Bubba here, you see him, he got the red shoes, got the fancy red shoes. Bubba's trying to eat with his, I don't know if it's a girl or whatever, but he's trying to eat. We never see who he's trying to eat with. And then you got a dude, black dude and his girlfriend, they getting into a fight. And black dude is yelling at his girlfriend. And Waffle House Bubba here, he don't like it. His meal is being disturbed. So he stands up and he does that thing. Hey, boy, I'm trying to eat my waffles. And it goes from there. And you watch it. Here you go. But y'all ain't gonna fuck with me like that. Period. We try to eat it. I don't give a fuck about it. So what? Okay, so I misrepresented. He wasn't as aggressive as maybe I painted it. He was just like, hey, man, we're trying to eat in here. All right, but I was trying to sell it. Always selling. That's what I was trying to do. So let's see how this turns out. But look, my man here, you don't want to hear it. He's mad at her. He can't hit her because it's public. I mean, I don't know what he does in private, but he's not going to do that here in public. But now you got this guy probably representing everything that this guy hates in the world. Racial tensions, how they are in America today. So we probably got this. Just watch how this goes. Okay, here we go. I'll let it play out. I won't interrupt it. But y'all ain't gonna fuck with me like that. Period. We try to eat in there, man. I don't give a fuck about it. So what? You too. Come on, fuck that nigga. You better get your damn hair off my face. It don't even matter. It don't matter. Fuck me. You better get your damn hair off my face. Fuck you. What you gonna do? It don't even matter. You don't have nothing to do with it. No, I don't. So you better get your goddamn hair off my face. Okay, more fights between guys have started because of bitches like this. Bitches like this. She is doing nothing but causing more problems. You better get the fuck out the door. You better get out the goddamn door. Fuck you. What are you fucking with, boy? Man, I'm out here doing fucking real. What you calling a boy? Get the fuck out the door. Fuck you. Make me. Fuck you. Come outside. No, I'm gonna sit the fuck down and do sit down and go real. All right, it's obvious who the aggressor is here. Dude right here. Dude right here is stone cold criminal in this moment. He is trying to start something. This guy's doing his best. Georgia Tech. Is that what that is? That looks like maybe a Georgia Tech thing. All right. Dude here is he's holding back as best he can. But this guy wants him. This guy's mad at his lady, and he's just got to take it out on somebody.
What we talking to you?
No, but are you out there interrupting my fucking meal?
I don't give a fuck. I'm putting your wheel.
Oh, shit. There we go. Ah! Ow! And that's it. That's the problem with these videos. We never get to see how they end. However, in the thread that is underneath this story, we do learn that that's pretty much it. They both slipped, and then the one guy got pulled away, and the other guy sat down and eat, and the other guy was ushered out of the place. According to a couple of people on the thread who said that that's how it ended. But here, we'll watch it one more time. We'll watch it play out. I will give points for the flip, the flip of the plate. It was so confident. That's not a guy who's posing. Once you flip the man's meal over, you know it's go time. There is no turning back at that point.
We try to eat in there, man.
I don't give a fuck about it. So what?
You too.
Come on, fuck that
You
nigga.
better get your damn hair out
Fuck
of my
you.
face.
Fuck you.
It don't even matter.
Fuck you.
It don't matter.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you when you talking to you.
Fuck me.
You better get your damn face
Fuck
out of
you.
my face.
Fuck you.
No, I
What
ain't no.
you gonna do?
It don't even matter. You don't have nothing to do with it.
No, I don't. So you better get your goddamn
Well,
hair
shut the
out of
fuck
my
up.
face.
Well, shut the fuck up.
Fuck you.
I'm telling you, man, you better get the fuck on out the door. You better get out the goddamn door.
Baby, you that damn little fuck you. What do you fuck with you, boy?
Now, I'm out here going fucking
world
what you gonna do? It? Get the fuck out the door.
Fuck you. Make me. Fuck you. You come outside.
No, I'm gonna sit the fuck
You come
down
outside.
and enjoy my
Sit
meal.
down there and enjoy the meal.
Here comes the flip. Here comes the confident plate flip.
Fuck you. I don't give a fuck. I'm putting your wheel.
Oh, now you gotta go. Okay. I'm telling you. I believe that the Waffle House mandates that they grease up the floor with bacon grease just so that these kinds of things happen. So that any fight that breaks out is always going to end up like a hockey fight. They're both sliding all over. Floor's all sticky.
Now, I'm out here going fucking meal. What you gonna do? It? Get the fuck out the door.
Fuck you. Make me. Fuck you. You come outside.
No, I'm gonna sit the fuck
You come
down and enjoy
outside.
my
Sit
meal.
down there and enjoy the meal.
I would have liked to have seen this fight
No,
play
but
out.
you out there
Gotta be honest.
fucking
I
meal.
don't give a fuck. I'm putting your wheel.
Look at the slip. Whoop. All right, there you go. That's your moment of joy. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Of course, I'm flipped out of my mind on pills at the moment, so what do I know? Hold on. What are you saying, Bill? Jobs from not taking care of yourself, so is taking pain pills. It's all self-inflicted. I don't know what that means. Hi, John. Thank you, John. John, you don't have to be sorry that you're late. Thank you, John. John, I appreciate your donation this month. Thank you very much. Let's see here. What can we do? What can we talk about today? Oh, I can tell you something that I discovered recently. So, we talk a lot on this show, not a lot, but I guess there's been a couple of shows where we've somehow devolved into conversations about bad fashion trends from like the 2000s or, whatever, even earlier than that, I guess. We were talking about 80s clothes the other day. So I stumbled across something that is new on Hulu. Excuse me. And it's called The Curse of Von Dutch. Do you guys remember Von Dutch? Von Dutch was, they started that whole douchey trucker hat thing. You remember the trucker hat, Von Dutch, people would wear it cocked sideways, and just every douchebag, the most insufferable people in Hollywood were the first to jump on this. Your Paris Hiltons, your Tommy Lees, these, your Dennis Rodmans, these were the people who first started wearing this brand, this clothing brand. And it just went away one day. One day it just went away. And it seems like Von Dutch was gone, but now we had Ed Hardy. and then we had Affliction, and then, whatever, all those other like douchebag fashions that, every just horrible, just brainless idiot was wearing back in the aughts, in late 90s, I guess, is when the Von Dutch thing started. So Von Dutch just went away one day. And I'd never really given it another thought. I just figured, oh yeah, people realized that shit sucked and now it's gone. Okay, so's the way of the world. But no, man. That was like a crazy company. Hulu. It's on Hulu. It is a 3-part, 1 hour each episode. So it's a 3-hour essential documentary about the Von Dutch company, if you could even call it a company. So here, I'll give you a couple. It was started by the Von Dutch brand began because some terrible, just LA beach trash cocaine dealer guy was looking for ways to launder his money. So he started a fashion brand because he realized that he didn't really have to make it. Fashion was all smoke and mirrors, and he could write down in the books that he spent $500,000 on advertising or marketing, and then as it turns out, he actually only spends $5. So there you go. So now you've laundered $495,000 right there. So it all started out as some stupid way for this coke dealer to sort of launder his money, but then it took off, and nobody knew how to run this company because none of them were businessmen. And it became like a $1 billion fashion brand, like within really short. They didn't make $1 billion. As a matter of fact, that's the whole point of the curse of Von Dutch. It's like none of these numbskulls made anything. Oh, and also like the Von Dutch jeans. This was really funny. So all of these idiots, like like I said, your Dennis Rodmans, your Paris Hiltons, they were all going out there, your Jesse James, they were all going out there and buying Von Dutch jeans for like ridiculous amount of money. They were like super expensive jeans, and they were buying them and they were wearing them. They were just Dickies. The Von Dutch people were just going to like a farming fleet and buying Dickies and pulling off the label and then just sewing on a Von Dutch label and selling it to these morons at like a 1,000% markup. And it's crazy. Here, I got it right here for you, so you can see this. Let us all sit here now and let's watch the trailer for this new Von Dutch documentary. And I've watched 1.5 episodes. Whoop, okay, here we go. I've only watched 1.5 episodes, so probably not tonight, because as soon as we wrap up here, I got a feeling I am just going to pass out. But I will definitely be enjoying this weekend. Let's see, do we have it? Yeah, we do. It's Sharon. Okay, so here, watch this. Tell me this doesn't look fascinating. And I can tell you, I've like I said, I've watched about 90 minutes of it. It's really good. It's crazy funny.
Von Dutch was iconic for Y2K fashion, trucker caps, jeans, jackets. That was like our uniform, basically.
They didn't know how to run a business. It was really a facade.
Everybody on the planet had Von Dutch. That hat, it was like crack to the streets.
I started hanging out with Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee.
Money was rolling in.
North of $1 billion.
Tons of girls and block parties.
Champagne.
Private jet. Paris jumps out of a cake.
The things that you dream about doing, I got to do.
All these cars and homes.
It was such an amazing achievement. The difficulty was one of the co-founders was charged with first-degree murder.
So you want to talk about Von Dutch? I'm Ed Boswell. I created Von Dutch.
Why are you trying to deny me my shit? I'm Bobby Vaughn, I created Von Dutch Originals.
That's not true. I'm Michael Cassell, and I created Von Dutch Originals.
Don't tell people that you created the Von Dutch clothing line. Tell them what really happened. In the neck.
Mike brought in Tony Sorens. I was the CEO, but there are certain things that I didn't know.
Fashion's the easiest to launder money.
We were always breaking the rules. There's nothing that I won't try.
If you got the first productions of Von Dutch, they were all Dickies.
I was totally unaware.
When the money comes, people go sideways.
Bobby, Mike, and Ed were button heads.
We had fist fights in the company.
It was hard to control.
The only option at that point was to get him out of the picture.
I gotta just ask you the hard question. Did you ever have anyone killed?
You could call it the curse of Von Dutch.
For the right money, people will do anything.
My door gets kicked in.
Let's jump hanging off the balcony.
Tony knew that Bobby was a liability.
These snakes consumed each other.
My whole empire's crumbling. I'm gonna lose everything.
He wanted revenge.
I met a Colombian girl connected with the Escobar family.
Cops are flying in, 50 guns on each of our heads.
I was scared for our lives.
This is first-degree murder.
Is this where it is?
Get ready, because in the art of war, anything goes.
I gotta be honest with you guys. I never saw that trailer before. I just pulled it up. I saw there was a trailer. I thought it would be a good way to explain it to y'all. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That is a very good. What did I just do? I just did something stupid. I'm gonna do stupid things today, folks. I don't know what I'm doing. So yeah, I just stumbled across that this afternoon while I was looking for, seeing what was on, because, see if there was anything new to watch and all that. And I saw that on Hulu and I'm like, we were just talking about that brand. And I just clicked it. My intention was just to watch like 5 minutes of it just to see what it's about. 90 minutes later, I'm like, oh shit, I got to go do a show. So that's what I've been doing. And I'll probably finish up the rest of that at some point tonight. Or not tonight, because like I said, I'm probably going to collapse after this. Okay, so here are some things I can tell you about it. One of the reasons that the brand just went away is because the brand Von Dutch wasn't just made up out of whole cloth. Von Dutch was the name, the stage name, the artistic name of an actual artist back in Howard. I can't think of his name. You know what? Here we go. Hold on. Let me just ask him. I can't, because now I'm going to be distracted if I can't think of this guy's real name. Von Dutch, real name. Sorry. Bear with me. I'm doing this alone. Kenny Howard. That's who it was. So Kenny Howard was like the first, how we have today, we have this whole like fad, not even today, but probably like 10 years ago, it hit its peak, like, Monster Garage or, something like that. Jesse James, right? That guy, he's making the cool ass motorcycle. He's got his own show, all that. Guys tricking out cars. And they're like, Kenny Howard was the originator of this back in the 50s. And to give you an idea of his impact, he was the first guy. Picture the quintessential 1950s Southern California hot rod, okay? Picture the flames coming down the side, right? Like the hot rod with the flames coming up. That was Kenny Howard. That was a Kenny Howard design. So he had influence over all of this car culture, and then he got into motorcycles, and then he started making guns, and then he became an artist in his own right. Drawings and paintings and sculptures and all this stuff. And he never became rich because he was insane and he had no copyrights on anything, and he allowed anybody to use whatever he created because he didn't believe that if something was created, blah, 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 one of those guys. He died in like 1992 at 57 or something like that, of chronic alcoholism, because he was a crazy, crazy drinker. But Kenny Howard changed his name to Von Dutch back in late 50s. So when he started, becoming known as an artist, he was known as Von Dutch. And that's where the name comes from. He had nothing to do with the brand. It was just the people who started the brand were aware of him and aware of his influence. And they thought, that's a cool name that we could bring back, because that's a pretty cool name. He's dead, right? Why don't we go see his family and see if we can buy the name? And his family was just like a couple of daughters. And remember, he had no trademarks or copyrights on anything. And he died as a chronic alcoholic, and he was probably insane. So there was no money. There was no estate. There was no nothing. So this Coke dealer... this Coke dealer looking to launder money just basically went to his daughters and said, I'll give you a couple of grand. Let me use the name. And they were like, okay. So that's how the Von Dutch brand came to be. Now, here's the problem. After the Von Dutch brand name, the trucker hats and the jeans and the work shirts and all that stuff, after that all became very popular among Hollywood celebrities, all of a sudden, Hollywood stopped wearing his stuff. Why? Because it was revealed that the artist Von Dutch was a neo-Nazi. So it's like the dude himself was, all of these writings that he had done in his lifetime started to come out. And he wasn't just like, oh, well, he loved the Iron Cross logo, and he was once, there was a picture taken with him and somebody who was known to be associated with neo-Nazi. No, he was an avowed racist. He hated black people. He hated Mexicans. It's crazy. So at that point, I believe it was like an LA Times story or something that broke like around 2003, 2004, somewhere in there. And it just exposed the Von Dutch guy for being this just awful, talented artist, influential artist. But again, like I said, chronic alcoholic and crazy. So at that point, all the Hollywood celebrities went, and that's when Ed Hardy jumped into the picture. It was the same guy, Christian Audigier or something. He was someone who was hired during the peak years of Von Dutch to do a lot of their logos and a lot of their like fashion designs and all that stuff. And as soon as the Nazi stuff came out, it was like, okay, I got to move on and we're going to do something else. And they just went with Ed Hardy, who was another real life character like Von Dutch from back in the 50s and the 60s. And what was Ed Hardy? Ed Hardy was a tattoo artist. That's what he was a very famous tattoo artist back in the 50s and 60s and stuff like that. So that's how that all came to be. That's by the way, I just got a thing from James that says I'm going to be a little late. He sent that 30 minutes after the time he was supposed to be. So I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means that he's going to be joining us just as I'm signing off or not. Okay, so the Von Dutch thing on Hulu, I highly recommend it. I'm 90 minutes into it. It is fantastic. It is really funny. So, funny in a way, funny but also infuriating. And I'll tell you why. These people, the good news is that none of them got nothing. None of them got nothing now. They're all living in trailers. They're all just like all these people who were at the epicenter of this brand. They all, as soon as the brand got really big, then the money guys and the bankers came in and basically swindled them for like everything, because they were all stupid. They were just stupid gangbangers and drug dealers and surfers and just a bunch of really dumb people who all they wanted to do was party and hang out with Tommy Lee. And, it was just silly. So the good news is they got nothing. The bad news is, man, they had like 6 of the greatest years that you, me, or anybody else could ever hope for. I mean, especially another thing that I'm reminded of from this documentary series, the first 90 minutes. And again, we're talking about The Curse of Von Dutch on Hulu. Maybe it's just because I'm older now. But oh my God, you guys, people were so beautiful back in the 2000s. Like in the early 2000s, these girls were ridiculous. You know what I think it was? I think it was the crescendo, the last great era of female objectification. Objectification? Objectification? Did I say that right? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Painkillers are telling me to just go with it, dude. Go with it. And now we're in the Me Too era where everything's like, we're getting, you can't objectify anymore. And that's fine. Like I always say, I'm a 50-year-old man. Those days for me are over. I don't care, but I'm a hetero. And man, those days were great. There's just a bunch of girls running around in too tight tank tops and little boy shorts and stupid trucker hats. They look stupid in the trucker hats, but everything else was fantastic. Good times. 2000s, turn of the century, the Y2K era. That was a good era. Not going to lie. All right, let's see what else. What are you guys talking about in there? John Hoineke says, that car chase you played yesterday was a local station radio on KLOS in Los Angeles. Well, no, the car chase I played yesterday was from Denver. That was from Denver, Colorado in 2015. Unless you're talking about the one a couple of days before that, because, I love me some car chases. I love a live car chase. Can't really help that. That's just who I am. It's how I'm built. All right, let's see here. What else do we got? Yeah, we talked about that. See, I had a bunch of things tonight that I wanted to talk to with James, but a couple of things we had talked about on the early show today that I wanted to bring back just to get his takes on, because his takes are ridiculous. Oh, we got this. I'm sorry. It's cottonmouth. These pills are making me super, super cottonmouthy. For those of you just tuning in, I have gout, and I may have overprescribed a little bit of pain medication to get through this show, and now I'm feeling weird. All right, look, folks, it's official. It's official. See, we make that. Look at that. And that's official. You know who that is? That's Pete Davidson and Kim Kardashian. They're official. As of today, they're official. I can't explain it. As a personal friend of Kim Kardashian, I want to just say that I think she can do better. I do not understand this Pete Davidson phenomena that we're all experiencing here in the year 2021. He is having his zenith moment. I remember him when he was just a young, 19-year-old stand-up comedian, and I thought he was pretty funny. He had one tremendous joke that I always say is one of the best jokes I've ever heard. And he did it at a roast, one of these Comedy Central roasts. And I think it was the roast of Snoop Dogg, because he was talking about the film Soul Plane. Remember when Snoop Dogg made that movie Soul Plane? So the background is that Pete Davidson's father was killed on 9/11 in the Twin Towers. He was killed when the planes hit the towers. Very sad, very serious tragedy. But it's his tragedy. It's his personal tragedy. And he did a joke about that was so shocking. And so only somebody who lost their father in the Twin Towers could tell the joke. And it was something to the effect of, you remember, it was a roast for Snoop Dogg. And it was something like, Snoop Dogg, I went and saw Soul Plane, and it's the worst thing that I've ever seen involving an airplane. And the crowd didn't really get it. And then people started they were like, oh, wait, that's his dad died in 9/11. Like, it was worse than his dad dying in 9/11, which I thought was a fantastic joke for only him to tell. Nobody else can tell that joke. But like I said, his tragedy, he can own it, deal with it, possess it any way that he wants. So I was fine with it on that level. But it was a good joke. It was a real brave, ballsy joke. But then he went and did Saturday Night Live. And I'm looking at this Pete Davidson guy, and I'm going, I don't get you, kid. I don't get you. You're weird looking. You got sunken eyes. You got giant black bags under your eyes. You're skinny. You're not particularly funny. You're not doing really anything in sketches. You're only appearing every once in a while in the weekend updates. And even those are sort of, like, you're trying to be Adam Sandler, but you're not doing the sketch work that Adam Sandler did. You don't seem to have the characters. He's doing more of that now. Now that he's a bona fide superstar, and he's probably the biggest star on Saturday Night Live right now. Still don't get it, but he probably is. He's doing more sketch work. It's like they said, okay, well, let's start using him more. Let's start putting him in stuff because, he's big with the kids. I don't get that females think he's so attractive. I mean, like I said, maybe, it's just, do gay men find him attractive? Or is this just a woman? I don't, he's been with Ariana Grande. He's been with Kate Beckinsale. Now he's with Kim Kardashian. Look at him right here. You see him here in this picture? Here's the thing that a lot of people don't know about Kim Kardashian, but I do, because have I mentioned that I'm close personal friends with Kim Kardashian? Kim Kardashian's tiny. I think that she projects an image of a much larger than life, really, big woman. She's not. Look at them. Now, Pete's tall. Pete's probably 6'2" or something, and skinny as a bean. But look at them together. She's so tiny. I don't get it. I don't understand it. If there's any women in the chat room, maybe you could explain to me what the deal is with Pete Davidson. He's moderately amusing. but I don't get it. It's I guess. Oh, is James here? Is that James? No, that's me double. Why am I on two screens? I don't get it. All right, there we go. Now I'm back on one screen. All right, so that happened today. We're all dealing with that. We're all processing that Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson are a legit thing now. Let's see here. What else can we go through? See, I wanted to go through this with the boys, or at least with one of the boys, but we've only got me. So I found this article that I was reading. I was reading this morning, and I was thinking, this would be good. Won't work for the high noon show because it's not exactly, what you'd call current events or trending topics or anything like that. But I wanted to use it on today's show. But since I'm all alone, I'll just talk about it with you guys, if that's cool. This was an article that I was reading on phobias, okay? So do you have any phobias? I'm trying to think if I have any legit phobias. I don't like heights. I really don't like heights. I used to be okay with heights. But now, I mean, I worked in a building in Chicago. I worked at the top of one of the tallest buildings in the world. And I think that's when my height phobia kicked in. Because I guess I was always fine with it. Like, I'm good with roller coasters. I'm good with, you know what I wasn't good with? Do you remember back in the day when amusement parks had those like gondolas that would take you? Oh, let's see, James. Sorry, I'm hammered, stumbling downtown. All right, James. Well, you know what? Let's call him. And then we'll get back to my story. See if he'll pick up. Could have let me know. He could have let me know. But I'm not going to be a dick about it.
Hey, Pugs.
Okay, so what you're missing is that I am wigged out on pain pills because I'm suffering through a bout of gout. And what are you doing?
I just left my tranny friend's apartment in downtown New Orleans.
Hanging out with your tranny friend again. Look at you. Yeah. Okay. Don't.
Yeah. So gout, you have like uric acid that is accumulating at your joints.
Yeah.
Like a foot or knee thing. What's going on?
Yeah. No, that's exactly what's going on. Where, are you home? You're going to jump in? Cause I'm only going to do probably another 15, 20 minutes. I took a couple of painkillers and that's why I tried to call you at the start of the show. I was saying,
yeah, I'm in no position to assist.
Don't worry about it.
I won't be home for another 20 minutes anyway.
No, man, don't even come home for any particular. I'm just going to stay out. Have fun. It's not a big deal. It is really not. You picked a great day because I'm a little bit, I'm in bad shape myself.
Copycat.
Yeah, no, except mine isn't self-inflicted. Mine is, well, I guess it is self-inflicted from all the garbage that I eat. All right, man, go home. Be safe.
Thank you.
Don't do anything stupid. Get your Uber. Bye. There he goes. All right. So he's not going to join us today. So phobias, heights. I was fine with heights. And the thing that I was working in the tall building. See, I got to retract what I was talking about. Working in the tall building kicked it in. But I first noticed it when I was a kid in those gondolas, like at Six Flags, where you'd go from one end of the park to the other. And it was really slow and it was super high. I hated those things. Oh my God. I hate it. I had no problem with a roller coaster. Roller coaster could be twice that high. I didn't care. Anything that takes me up super high and then drops me down, I was fine with that. But man, those gondolas freaked me out. And then in my early 20s, I worked on top of the John Hancock Center in Chicago. And on one of my first nights, I went into the bathroom and I was in a stall and I noticed that the toilet, there were waves in the toilet. Like it was like a current in the toilet, like the waves, the toilet water were like whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. And I went back and I mentioned it to somebody that I was working with. I was working at a traffic company, where you do traffic for like all the radio stations and all that stuff. And I mentioned it. I said, man, I was in the bathroom and there were like waves in the toilet. And they explained to me that that's because the building is so tall. It was built to give like 6 inches in either direction at all times, so that when the winds would blow off the lake, the building would literally shift a little bit. And although that's not necessarily enough for you to feel it when you're up in the building, you can see it happening by looking at the toilet water. So when they said that to me, I was like, wait a second, this building is moving? This is like 1994? No, it's 1992, something like that. So yeah, it totally messed me up, and I've never been good with heights ever since then. So that's probably it. That's my only height. Oh, that and drunk Mexican girls. Drunk Mexican girls scare the shit out of me too. I once got punched right in the face by a drunk Mexican girl, and she was on a date with me. You don't want to mess with them. All right, so here's a weird, these are all weird phobias that people have. Hold on, wait a second. I think I skipped one. Oh, it's going to do this. Oh my goodness. Here. Bear with me. Look, folks, don't act like you're shocked. I told you this was going to be a weird one tonight. I told you that there were going to be a couple of missteps. I can hear you all. Okay, yeah. So here's the first one. Taphophobia. Taphophobia. Anyone know what anyone? Taphophobia? John Hoynicke says, is that the same as the Sears Tower? No, the John Hancock Center is the big building, the second biggest building in Chicago. It's on the other side of town. But yeah, Sears Tower is the biggest. Although only by a few floors, so it's not like. Taphophobia. Taphophobia is the fear of being buried alive. Gotta be honest. Hadn't really thought about it. Now I'm thinking about it. I'm taphophobic. I don't want it. That is legit. But it's not like, is that a real fear? Like, being afraid of heights is something that you have to encounter and deal with on a fairly regular basis. But fear of being buried alive, that's like an irrational fear. You're probably not going to be buried alive. Taphophobia is the fear of being buried alive. Researchers suggest it arose and probably peaked during the 1700s, at a time when plague was rampant, and people feared that doctors or medical professionals would mistakenly pronounce them dead. Okay, well, yeah, I think they pretty much know when you're dead now. So I don't think being buried alive, although as a serial killer thing, I suppose it could still happen. Oh, that would be the worst. Oh my God, I can't even think about it. All right, how about this one? Isotrophia phobia. Wait, Isotrophobia. Sound it out. Isotrophobia. You know what that is? That's a fear of mirrors. That's a weird one. Isotrophobia is the fear of mirrors, or more specifically, of seeing your own reflection in mirrors. Looking into a mirror can cause people with isotrophobia shame or distress. Well, then I have it, because I feel shameful every time I look at myself in the mirror. And it's quite distressing. And it can lead to depression. Well, I have depression. So maybe I have this one as well. Maybe I have isotrophia, which is the fear of looking in mirrors. How about Ombrophobia? Ombrophobia. Oh, I don't have this one. I love this one. I have the opposite of this one. Ombrophobia is the fear of the rain. The fear of the rain. Who's afraid of the rain? It falls into a category researchers term natural environment phobias, which also include hurricanes, lilassophobia, snow, chionophobia, cold, cryophobia, and wind, ancrophobia. Well, I'm not afraid of the rain. I love the rain. I'll tell you, man, if I wake up in the morning and it is raining outside, that is like one of the, when you wake up first thing in the morning and maybe you're woken up by the crack of thunder and it's gray and it's raining outside, man, I'm telling you, that is like good sleeping weather. That is when you just want to roll over and go, okay, all right, I see how this day is going to be. What's okay? Screw you, day. I've got an antidote for this. And it's going back to sleep for like 10 hours. All right, let's see what the next one is. Phonophobia. Phonophobia is an abnormal and unwarranted fear of sound. According to researchers from Malaysia, it says, so how good can they be? According to research from Malaysia, researchers say that these are often normal, everyday sounds that can possibly harm a person's hearing or cause pain, stuff like doors closing or loud conversations, blah, blah, blah. That's a dumb one. I'm not even interested. Numerophobia. Numerophobia is the fear of numbers. Okay. Like checking balance. Like what does that mean? Though not in the sense that a person believes giant ones or zeros are hiding under the bed, maybe they should be. Instead, numerophobia usually pops up as a fear of doing math or dealing with numbers. Oh, yeah. I kind of have something like this. Like if I'm put on the spot and I'm asked, and not necessarily math, but it could be math. Like if you're in math class and they say, okay, would you come up here and would you do this equation for the whole class? I could never do that. Even if I knew what it was, I would just lock up. I would just be like, forgot everything. It's kind of like when I go into a grocery store and in the parking lot between the car and the front door of the grocery store, I forget everything that I need to buy. I just go completely blank. That's got to be a version of this. It's almost like the same thing. It's the pressure. Like I'll be in the car and I'll be saying, okay, I need butter, I need cheese, I need coffee filters, and then by the time I lock the door and start walking in, I'm like, wait, what do I need? Oh my God, I have no idea what I need. Sure, some people would say, hey, Pugs, just make a list. Where's the fun in that? Myrmecophobia. Sound it out. Myrmecophobia. Myrmecophobia. That's what we're going to say. Fear of ants. Ants. I can see it. I don't like ants, especially when they team up and there's like thousands of them all together. I don't like that. How about Thalassophobia? Thalassophobia is the fear of the ocean or the deep or open water. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. It looks like it's a Thalassophobia. While thoughts of sea creatures lurking below the waves play into this phobia, it's often rooted in a fear of the unknown. Okay, very good. Ephebiphobia. Ephebiphobia. Ephebiphobia is a fear of teenagers or adolescents. Okay. I get that. Teenagers scare the hell out of me. Tell you, if I'm walking into a 7-Eleven and there's a couple of little 12-year-old skateboard kids with AC/DC t-shirts on, I always get a little bit of, Ephephobia is a fear of teenagers or adolescents. Cultural and demographic researchers have long understood that nearly every generation of adults harbors mild forms of this phobia. I do, meaning they look at teens as out of control or backwards in some way. Now, I don't know if I look at them as out of control or backwards. I think that for me, like teens, like 15, 16-year-olds, I think for one, the meanest creature on God's green earth is a 16-year-old girl. That, without a doubt. I tell my son's 12 years old. I tell him that all the time. I go, dude, be prepared because the cruelest, most vindictive, angriest, and meanest creature that you are going to run into in the next couple of years is a 16-year-old girl. And God help you if she's beautiful, because that makes them even worse. They talk a lot about how cruel boys can be to each other. No. They didn't make a movie called Mean Boys. They made a movie called Mean Girls. Girls are just awful. Boys will brutalize one another, but then, they play a game of basketball and suddenly they're on the same team and they're just totally fine. They're fine. Not girls. Girls are mean. Teenage girls. But this is teenagers in general. And I kind of get this one because whenever I find myself at my accelerated age, whenever I find myself around teenagers, I become fully aware that I am so not cool. Like I am they're the arbiters of what is and what isn't cool. So whenever I find myself around 15 or 16-year-olds, I always try too hard to make them like me. Not like, I'll buy you beer. No, not like that. That's criminal and crazy. No, but I mean, like, I try to be like the cool adult around them. And I think more times than not, I just end up being an idiot. And they probably see right through that. And that's why I have a fear of them, because I don't want to be judged. I don't want to be judged by a 16-year-old. That's all. So I get that one. Ephebiphobia. Ephebiphobia. Fear of teenagers. That's a good one. And then there are a bunch of past life phobias. Let's see. There's a good amount of research. I'm not really worried about that. Aerophobia. Aerophobia is the fear of fresh air. What? That's dumb. Used to be afraid of fresh air. Electrophobia. Electrophobia. Electrophobia is the fear of chickens or hens. I don't get that. Chickens and hens, they seem pretty harmless. Ducks. Sorry, I don't mean to malign ducks. What, do they all look alike to you? Yeah, when we're talking about ducks and geese, they are pretty much the same. Geese are the worst. I don't know about chickens. Mathophobia. Mathophobia is a fear of dust. Okay, that's dumb. Oh my God, you guys. How am I supposed to pronounce this? I'm going to give it a try. Hippopotamonstro sesquipedaliophobia. Hippopotamonstro sesquipedaliophobia. Sesquipedalophobia. Hippopotamonstro sesquipedalophobia. I blew it. This is what happens when you go into a recording studio and you have to read a script and there's a word that you keep stumbling on. The more you try to work it out, the worse it gets. So, clear the chamber. Let's try this. Let's see if I can be old one take Johnny the way I used to be. Let's see if we can get this done. Hippopotamostra sesquipedalophobia. Boom! Sesquipedalophobia. Hippopotamonstro sesquipedalophobia. All right, what is that? We're done. We're done trying to say this one. It's a fear of long words. That is get out of here. That's not real. Hippopotamonstro sesquipedalophobia is a fear of long words. Whoever coined the name for this phobia has a sick sense of humor. It's usually used in the context of patients with dyslexia who may struggle with unusually long words. It's also sometimes called sesquipedalophobia. Hippopotamonstro sesquipedalophobia. The more you say it, the harder it gets. Okay, a couple more here. Globulophobia. Globulophobia is the fear of balloons. That's stupid. Who's afraid of a balloon? Phobophobia. Phobophobia is the fear of fear itself. That makes sense. At some point, don't you start to get... Zoophobia is a fear of all animals. You're afraid of all animals. Emetophobia, that's the fear of vomiting. Sometimes. All right, let's run through. Nomiophobia is the fear of smartphone and technology. Urophobia is the fear of urinating. Somniophobia, fear of initiating sleep. Oh, so it's the fear of falling asleep. Somniophobia. That makes sense. Rhinophobia is the fear of frogs. Rhinophobia, the fear of frogs. Panophobia is the fear of everything. Okay. All right. So instead of just having like a dozen or more, probably because if you're afraid of everything, instead of just having tons of individual fears, you can just put it all under the umbrella of panophobia, which means you're afraid of everything. Athesagoraphobia. Athesagoraphobia is the fear of forgetting or being forgotten. Vestophobia is the fear of clothing. Sibophobia, fear of food. While that sounds a little ridiculous at first, one case study has found that this fear developed when a patient experienced painful muscle spasms after eating or swallowing. Oh, so you create these almost psychosomatic kind of responses to eating where you're making yourself go through actual physical pain. It's all manufactured by the brain because brain chemistry is an insane thing. And that's Sibophobia. So when you eat, it's like you make yourself, you make it a painful experience. Erythrophobia is the fear of blushing. Stupid. Frigophobia, I guess it would be frigophobia, is the fear of being left in the cold. Dipnophobia is the fear of dining. Ergophobia is the fear of work. Some say I have that. Yeah, okay, we can be done. Okay, we can be done with those. There you go. See, that would have been a lot. We could have done a whole 40 minutes on that if I had people to talk to about it. But I don't. I've been abandoned by everybody today. Hey, what's happening? Did I accidentally? Hold on. Something strange is happening here. I don't know. All right, Rick Bradley, he says he don't like heights. I get that. Wait. Oh, making me log it. Hold on. All right, sorry. I had a problem. For some reason, I signed out of the chat and I couldn't see anything. I don't like heights. Yeah, well, see, Rick also says he hates rats and mice. That wasn't the point of the article. They didn't have those kind of things. I don't know what that's called. I have no clue. Because these were all supposed to be just weird things that people are afraid of. Okay, let's see what else. There's probably a whole bunch of stuff we can get into. You know what, folks? Honestly, I think I got to call it. I'm starting to feel really weird. And my foot is in pain. And I appreciate you guys coming out and hanging out with me tonight all by myself. But I was even thinking, I'll go, maybe I could just do a whole stream of consciousness thing where we'll run through the late night trends and I'll just give you hot takes on all of them. But I can't do that. These, for those of you just joining, I'm having a gout flare up and my foot is killing me. So I took some painkillers and they are really making me a little bit floopy. All right, let's see what else is happening quickly. I feel like I can't just leave you. I have to give you something. Apparently, Chrissy Teigen is facing backlash for hosting a lavish Squid Game party. I don't know what that's about. Why? What is backlash? I mean, that's a splashy headline, and you think, oh, the entire world's mad. What constitutes backlash these days? A couple of people on Facebook taking pot shots who would take pot shots about absolutely anything. What's wrong with throwing a lavish? What is wrong with Chrissy Teigen doing something that is one, lavish, or two, surrounds the show Squid Game? Everybody is watching Squid Game. Squid Game is like the most popular show in the history of Netflix. And if Chrissy Teigen did something and it wasn't lavish, I'd be like, what's the point of being married to John Legend if you can't do lavish shit? Hey, you know what? Maybe I can just rant. Maybe I can. Maybe I can. All right, let's try this. We'll just talk about whatever the hell is trending right now. And I just pulled up Twitter for whatever reason. All right, Vera Sue's is trending. Vera Sue's versus, the rap battle show Versus. That's how wigged out I am right now. That's how. Matt Ryan is trending. Apparently, there's a football game going on. I don't know anything about that. Some WWE stuff. I don't know dick about that. Kevin McCarthy is trending. Oh, I saw this. This was crazy. GOP leader Kevin McCarthy presents a lengthy speech during the House floor debate on the proposed Build Back Better bill on Thursday. And I guess he said that if the GOP wins the House, they're just going to make Donald Trump the Speaker of the House. Can you do that? I mean, I don't know. Hey, man. Roll the dice. There are no rules anymore, people. We're just doing well. There might be rules in theory, but it doesn't seem like there are any consequences for anything that anybody does anymore. So who cares? Go for it, my man. I'd like to watch that. That'll be funny. DePaul. Oh, local Chicago college is trending. DePaul scores a nail-biting 73-70 victory over Rutgers. Really? A DePaul-Rutgers basketball game is trending? Kyle Pitts is trending. He's a football player. There's nothing. Joe Buck, sportscaster. Joe Buck provides commentary. Okay, so there are a couple of interesting things that were announced today. This is something that we can go off on a little bit. Did you see this story about Martin Scorsese and Jonah Hill? Martin Scorsese, who, by the way, we talked about this the other day on his birthday. We went through all of the great, I gave you my top 5 Martin Scorsese movies of all time. But in that conversation, I also mentioned to you that not only does Martin Scorsese make incredible films, I mean, I think he's the world's greatest living filmmaker, and I don't think it's close. I don't even think second place is, there can be an argument for 2nd through 5, but I don't think there can be any argument when you look at the body of work and the films that Martin Scorsese has created over the 50-plus year career that he's had of making movies. They're all awesome. Even like his worst movies are awesome. But in addition to these films that he's made, Martin Scorsese is also, he has made the quintessential documentary on any number of rock bands and rock musicians. He made, his famous one is The Last Waltz, which chronicles the final concert of the band. The band, the band, they were really big. They're great. They were so great. And then they stopped being a band. And their final show at the Fillmore was recorded and filmed by Martin Scorsese. And just so many big time celebrity and rock stars and musical icons showed up for this. So if you ever really want to see an incredible documentary about a cool band, see The Last Waltz. It's probably considered to be the absolute best. So who's the band? Okay. So what are the band? Band did songs like Up on Cripple Creek, she sends me if I spring a lake, and the night they drove old Dixie down. Those are not the same song. Those are different. What was the other one? The Wait. No, wait, that was the other. Virgil Kane is my name, and I heard on the Danville train. So Sherman's army came and tore up the tracks again. What song is that? Is that The Wait? In the winter of 70. Anyway, the band is awesome, and The Last Waltz is great, and Martin Scorsese did that. He also did the quintessential documentary on the Rolling Stones, Shine a Light, from probably, I don't know, maybe is that 20 years old now or something? He did one on Dylan that was really good. And recently, a few years back, he did this really tremendous, multi-hour series documentary on the life of George Harrison called Living in the Material World, George Harrison. And if you've ever seen that, that's a really good one too. So Scorsese has this Music Jones, this pedigree to his work that I don't think a lot of people really understand. They just think of, Mean Streets, Taxi Driver, Goodfellas, Casino, stuff like Cape Fear, movies like that. But no, man, he's been doing music stuff for a long time. So his latest project that he's working on is not a doc. It's not a doc. It's a biofilm. It's a biofilm on the Grateful Dead. Now, I'm not a big Grateful Dead fan, but I do understand and respect the cultural impact that band has had on American popular culture over the past 50 years. And this movie is it's actors, but it's actors going to be playing out the career and life, the origin, and all of that of the Grateful Dead and how impactful they were. I don't think I could name, we will get by. Hell in a Bucket. Remember that? They had one pop hit back in the 80s, and then everything else they did was pre-75, or at least anything that people would know. But hey, man, they're important. They're an important, but I don't have to like them for me to admit that I get that they're important, and I get that they had a serious cultural impact on this country. So they're making a movie, The Story of the Grateful Dead, and he cast Jonah Hill to play Jerry Garcia. So that was announced today. Jonah Hill will be playing Jerry Garcia in the Martin Scorsese helmed Grateful Dead film, which is, I guess it's going to be released in 2023. So there you go. So we got that. That's very exciting. If you like Martin Scorsese, see, I like Martin Scorsese. I don't particularly like the Grateful Dead, but because I like Martin Scorsese, I'll go watch that. Apparently tonight we got a lunar eclipse going on. That's kind of a big deal for a lot of people. Here's my problem. They say that this is the most significant lunar eclipse that we have seen in 600 years, and it's going on right now. So if you got a clear view of the sky, you'll be able to experience this very important once-in-a-lifetime lunar eclipse until 6 months from now, when there is another lunar phenomena that happens, and they'll tell you, once in a lifetime, you'll never see this again. They seem to do this all the time. There seems to be a once-in-a-lifetime lunar or solar event that we're all supposed to stop everything and enjoy because we'll never see it again until a couple months later when something extremely similar happens, and then you know what I'm saying. All I'm saying is that I've seen like multiple lunar eclipses, and every time that I've watched a lunar eclipse, I've been told that you'll never see this again. Well, okay, I'll never see this particular one, but I'm sure there's going to be something else. The longest partial lunar eclipse in nearly 600 years will grace the night sky late Thursday and early into Friday across the entire country. According to NASA, the eclipse will last 3 hours and 28 minutes, the longest partial eclipse of this century and the longest in 580 years. For East Coast observers, the particular eclipse begins at a little after 2 a.m. Friday morning. So that's like 4 hours from now. No, 3 hours, because it'd be 1 a.m. our time, Central Standard Time. So 3 hours from now is when it's going to begin. For East Coast observers, the partial eclipse will begin at 2 a.m., reaching its maximum at 4 a.m. So it'll max out in Central Standard Time at 3 in the morning. I, for one, can promise you I will not be awake for that. For observers on the West Coast, it begins just after 11 p.m. And you don't need any special glasses to see it. Unlike a solar eclipse, all you need is to wake up and get outside with a coat, because it'll be cold across most of this country, and enjoy the show. Particular lunar eclipses might not be quite as spectacular as partial lunar eclipses might not be as spectacular as total. All right, so there you go. So that's something. There you go. If you're a night person, and, I'm typically a night person, but just not today. All right, let's see. What else do we got? See if there's anything else that I can rant on. Brittany. Stories about Brittany are trending. Apparently, she's going to sit down with Oprah. She wants more kids. Brittany wants more kids. Good for her. Good for her. Apple's getting ready to mass produce a totally autonomous car, a car that just drives itself. What could go wrong there? The Simpsons is going to end. Yeah, I saw this trending earlier. Now, I don't know that they've said when it's going to end, but it's God, the Simpsons have been on since the 80s, right? Like the late 80s. And I understand how it's easier. It's easier to do when it's a cartoon than when it's live action because, actors, they get old, they look too old for the part, or they move on, they want more money, and then they're replaced. Yeah, I understand why live action shows don't go 30 years or so like The Simpsons have. It's not like Homer's going to hold out. I mean, you just got to make one guy happy, Matt Groening, and then he pays the rest of the people. The hit animated sitcom has been running since 1989 and shows no signs of slowing down. However, when the end comes, The Simpsons executive producer Al Jean has revealed the ideas he has for the final episode. Okay, so that was a bit of a misleading. So it's not, they haven't announced that it's going to end. But, all right. So we can, we don't have to waste our time with that nonsense. The first lawsuits are being filed now in the Astro World tragedy that happened down there in Houston a couple of weeks back. It was a Travis Scott concert, and a whole bunch of people got crushed, and a bunch of people died. I believe 10 died. A number are still in very serious condition in the hospital. Well, the first, oh boy, Apple, Live Nation, Drake, because apparently Drake was there too, and Travis Scott are being sued for, are you ready? $2 billion. $2 billion by hundreds of people who say they were injured when a crowd of 50,000 was incited, they're claiming, into a frenzy at the Deadly Astroworld concert a couple of weeks ago. The complaint filed Thursday in state court in Houston amended an earlier lawsuit brought shortly after the November 5th concert in which 10 people were killed and hundreds injured. The revised complaint increases the number of plaintiffs to 282, making it the single largest case over this event and one of the largest in history. Lawyer Thomas J. Henry said that he was talking to an additional 120 concert attendees about joining his case. Another suit filed on Monday on behalf of 125 concert attendees, including one of those who died, asked for more than $750 million in damages. So multiple cases, $2 billion for one and $750 million for another. And holy cow, Travis Scott, as the promoter of this tragic event, I hope to God you had insurance because man, oh man, that ain't good. Also, just a little something to take into the weekend with you. Monkeypox is here. Monkeypox. We need to forget about COVID. That's boring. That's so 2019. Yeah, apparently now somebody in America's got monkeypox and they're in a hospital for it. I don't know. Actually, I do know. I know what monkeypox is. Monkeypox, it comes from Nigeria. This guy came from Nigeria. And what it does is first you get flu-like symptoms, then you get a sore throat, and then you get covered from head to toe in a rash. I'm not kidding. It's like a visible rash. It's like a scarlet letter. You know when somebody has monkeypox by the rash that starts to form primarily and initially over the face, but then spreads throughout the entire body. And they say it's like smallpox, but monkeypox is not as bad as smallpox, but it also not good, right? Just because something's not as bad as, hey, being stabbed in the stomach while waiting for a bus ain't as bad as smallpox, but you still don't want to have it. Because, smallpox will definitely kill you. You probably survive from being stabbed in the stomach. Let's see, what else do we have? Yeah, no, see, it's still just a lot of stupid, divisive stuff. Man who raped 4 teens gets no jail time. Well, isn't that the world we live in? Yeah. All right. So that's pretty much it. I think that we can call it. I love you guys. I hope you appreciate that. I'm not feeling really great, and my brain is going a little scrambly, but I'm getting the mind scramblies. I'm not really being able to focus on anything. So I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm gonna get a really good night's sleep, and then we'll be back and we'll do this again tomorrow. It'll be the noon show, the high noon show, and that show's always a little bit more formed than this show, the Pillow Talk edition. During the high noon show, we'll go over all the trending topics, all the current events, everything that people are talking about. We're still waiting on a jury verdict in the Kyle Rittenhouse case, so we've got that to look forward to. Oh my God. The defense attorney for Kyle Rittenhouse made a statement today that he believes the situation with the jury as it currently stands is that they are deadlocked 6-6. I don't know why he believes that. I don't know if he has any inside information, but yeah, so he's saying he thinks they're deadlocked at 6-6. And let's hope that deadlock gets broke because they don't want to stay over the weekend. They want to just, and think about that too. We've got, you'd like to think that a jury would just work out whatever disagreements they have on the certain facts of the case, and we'd like to think that they would dedicate as much time as possible. But ain't none of these people gonna keep this going through Thanksgiving. People got places to be. People got stuff they want to do. I mean, I don't think they're gonna want to sit through the weekend. So I imagine that there might be a verdict returned tomorrow. But we will see. Godspeed to those. Oh, in the story that we did earlier today, the story about the MSNBC film crew who were banned now from covering inside the courtroom of the Rittenhouse case because they They apparently followed the juror's bus to the hotel, which is a big no-no. And MSNBC got dragged all day by everybody. How could they allow that? Well, it turns out they were not MSNBC reporters. They were freelancers who were selling their work to MSNBC. So it's not like these were people and MSNBC branded reporters. At least that's what I heard. Okay, there you go. So we'll be back tomorrow. We'll have all kinds of stuff for you at noon. I hope you can join us. Once again, this show works on donations, so if you can donate anything, although honestly today wasn't worthy of anything, I wouldn't blame you for just keep it in mind. Keep it in mind. Should you ever have a couple extra shekels laying around, you can go to any number of the put them up here while I'm talking about it. Although I don't like to do this. It's why we don't do it every day. We can't do it every day. It's not. So I do appreciate those of you who have helped out over this past week. I always try to bring it up around the 15th and the 30th. Hey, Pugs, it's so convenient that you always got to bring this up during the weeks of I was getting paid. Well, that's what we do. We're doing this for absolutely nothing other than the love of doing it and hopefully to entertain a bunch of you people. But there are plenty of ways for you to help us out, and you can do it by any of those. You can go through Venmo. Oh, wait, that's the wrong one. Look at me. Here you go. That's the one you want to see. You can go through Venmo or PayPal, and for those it's just Pugs Moran. And if you use the Cash App, then you can go through just Pugs Cast on the Cash App. So whatever you can do, that's fine. If you can't do anything, that is seriously fine as well. No problems. Love you all. You're all awesome. But some people have $10 laying around. Some people have more. Whatever. If you can help us out, that'd be great. If it doesn't hurt you, man, please throw a little bit our way. But I understand a lot of folks out there are like me, and this is the time of the season to be bungholing money, not giving it to some guy who's all pilled out doing a live stream at 10:23 in the evening time here. So thank you. All right. Tomorrow, I'm not sure. Not sure if E's going to be with us tomorrow. Sunglasses. He's got a whole bunch of stuff going on where he's going to be traveling and doing all kinds of fun Steve things sunglasses things, Amel things. So I think he'll be with us. If not, well, I can do it alone. I can do a Friday show alone. That's not too difficult to do. I'm going to leave you with America's favorite singer-songwriter / failed presidential assassin, as we do each and every night. A little music from John Hinckley. Thank you so much for joining us, folks. Love to you. Hope you can join us tomorrow. Sorry I'm cutting this a little bit short today, but you understand. Gout. Wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. I would not. Okay, bye, folks.
Each and every night, and may you walk in righteousness and always do what's right. This can be the start of something new. Roses and lace, they are meant for you. May everyone be on your side at each and every turn, and may you have the smoothest ride. Receive what you have earned. This can be the start of something new. Roses and lace, they are meant for you. May peace be with you every day, in every kind of way. May good things come into your life to have a blessed day. This can be the start of something new. Roses and lace, they are meant for you. This can be the start of something new. Roses and lace, they are meant for you.